Hey guys, it's Gwen. I look like a wreck times 10, but I wanted to make a video quickly and get it out quickly about George Floyd and this entire situation. It breaks my heart. I have a lot of love for the African American community. One of my best friends that I grew up with is African American, and her family took me in like I was their own, like I had a family with them along with my own family, and I will always have love for the African American community. I don't agree with the things that go on towards African Americans, and someone said that racism was at an all-time low, and my problem with that is that even if statistically it's at an all-time low, someone just died. George Floyd just died. So I don't consider it an all-time low right now. If someone's dying, if people are still dying, then I don't think anything is low about that. When no one is dying anymore, when no one is getting brutalized by the police, then you can say it's at a low. That's when you can say it's at a low. But anyway, let's get into it. George Floyd was buying a pack of cigarettes, and it all began over a fake $20 bill. And before I started filming this, I really sat with myself and just thought about that. Like, I cannot imagine dying over a fake $20 bill trying to buy cigarettes. And that's the biggest issue, is that I, as an American, I do not feel that fear. I do not feel like I might die if I make a wrong move, and it's as simple as buying cigarettes. Like, are you kidding me? It blows my mind that African Americans are treated this way. It blows my mind that this can be allowed, that this can be looked over. And like, there are so many African Americans who have been victim to this, victim of just running in a park, like, or going to a store, getting a speeding ticket, and they get brutalized or killed. George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, I don't know if I'm saying that right, I'm really sorry if I mess up one of the names, Breonna Taylor, Kevin Davis, the Charleston 9, there are so many African Americans who have been brutalized and hurt, killed, discriminated, and it's sick. It's disgusting to me, and it's ridiculous that it is 2020 and this was all, the peak of this was in the 1800s. The 1800s. It is 2020. There shouldn't be an ounce of racism, and there never should have been any racism. The other thing I want to talk about is that according to a 2015 YouGov Huffington poll, 74% of African Americans caution their children to be cautious around police versus 32% of white parents that tell their kids to be cautious. 74% African Americans, and this was in 2015. You can only imagine what the percentage is now based on the fact that this is still happening. It's ridiculous. Another one, a 2016 Cato YouGov survey, I don't know how to say it, it's a Cato Institute survey, found that African Americans are 5 times more likely to expect worse treatment from police because of their race. And it's not, I can't imagine what goes through African Americans' minds. I cannot imagine what they think. I'm white, I have privilege, and that's exactly why I'm making this video. That's exactly why I'm talking about this and voicing it on all platforms, because I don't agree with what's going on. I don't agree with the treatment and the disrespect, the discrimination that people have to go through who are just a different race than us. Like, can you imagine if you're white, if you're watching this and you're white, picture not being able to go on the street without somebody being afraid that you'll rob them, or being afraid that you'll hurt them, or walking the street and being afraid that someone will hurt you for doing nothing wrong, and someone will hurt you. Can you imagine that? Like, African Americans have to deal with that all the time. And I am going to link petitions down below and donation links where you can donate. The best thing we can do as people who are not African American is to raise your voice. Raise your voice, talk about it on social media, talk about it to people, make videos like I'm making right now, sign petitions, and go to protests if you can. I encourage you all to do so. I encourage you all to sign petitions, go to protests, help the African American community in any way you can. I think this racism should have been over with in the 1800s. It never should have been a thing, but since it was, it should have been done in the 1800s. It should have never continued to 2020. Like, it still is blowing my mind to this very second that it is 2020 and people, African Americans, are still dying from racism, okay? Cops, they need a different kind of background check. There should never be a cop who thinks it's okay to kneel on someone's neck. It's not okay. It's never okay. And there's so many videos coming out about police brutality, and I'm like shocked over and over and over again, and I just can't. I know there are good cops out there, but there are so many bad ones too, and it's really, really sad. But I wanted to touch on this subject because I think it is important to raise your voice. And if you guys are on social media, that is what the African American community is asking us to do as white people who have privilege. Raise your voice, say something, do something, because if we don't come together to do something, nothing will change. I understand not everybody will agree with me or my views, and that's okay. But I will link down below the donation links and the petitions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and yeah, comment what you want to see next.